Let's go back to the Big Ten. A top 10 Big Ten matchup, Indiana and Oregon. Tom, start us off.
Yeah, this is one I don't love for Indiana. I think what they did to Illinois a few weeks ago is still living in a lot of people's heads, but I just don't like the situation for Indiana marching into Autzen. And having seen it firsthand against Penn State, Dante Moore might be the most cool, calm, and collected quarterback in college football right now. It's incredibly impressive the way that they operate this offense. They don't rely on the quarterback run game. The ball is out quickly. De'Aaron Hill is gaining a lot of momentum every single week. We kind of talked about Malik Benson and DeCorian Moore earlier on tonight. This is a very, very strong offensive line. Despite being a lot of transfers, they put this together very well and they communicate extremely well. In a crazy road environment like a whiteout at Penn State, they were fine. And now you go home to a situation against an Indiana team, which really has not had a crazy test with an opponent of this caliber on the road. I do understand it came down to the wire for them against Iowa, and that was a head scratcher for a lot of people. 20-15 was the final score. And outside of that last second kneel down in the end zone just to seal it and get the safety there by Indiana, that would have been 20-13. So kind of strange. Fernando Mendoza and Dante Moore have eerily similar stat lines. So I think Mendoza is going to be composed in this game, but you still have to go up against that Oregon crowd in this. Defensively, two really good defensive lines. And again, it's still so hard to tell what Indiana is going to be up against upper echelon talent in that department. So this is going to be a really good test because they were like a hot knife through butter against Illinois a few weeks ago, but we got done talking about Illinois earlier on. It's not the best offensive line they're going to see in the Big Ten by a landslide. So I think there's going to be some challenges for Indiana in this game on that side of the ball. Defensively, their secondary has a couple of injuries that could be key that Dante Moore and company could be able to take advantage of. And then defensively for Oregon against Fernando Mendoza and company, you have to sell out almost to stop the run in this game. And that, I think that was the thing that was most impressive for me watching Indiana this entire season is they are committed to running the football. They will take their shots with Fernando Mendoza and company. They do have some talented guys at wide receiver who can hurt you. But I think this Oregon defense, they're nasty. They play together. It's a smart secondary. It's a young secondary, which a lot of people pointed towards during the offseason as something that could be a real problem. But this is a defensive line that is physical. Bear Alexander is actually playing competitive football and has been really solid so far this year. Teoti and Mateo Uiagalelei are maybe the best defensive end combination in the country, and they play as well against the run as they do in the pass rush. So I don't believe in Indiana just yet. I don't like this matchup. I don't like this situation for Indiana on the road. I think Oregon is going to prove why they're one of the top three, if not top two teams in college football.
I'll get right back to our video, but first, I do want to tell you about Sleeper's brand new promotion. It's for October only, so do not wait on this. If you've been waiting to deposit on the Sleeper app, but you're cheap, or you just don't want to spend money, or whatever your excuse is, you just don't believe us about the match, you don't even need to make a deposit now. Use our code CFA and you get a free $20 entry on the Sleeper app. You heard me right. Free $20 entry on the Sleeper app if you use our code CFA. The link is in the description. If you do deposit, there's still a 100% match up to $100, but you do not want to miss this promo. It's just for October. Go get it done now. Come play the More or Less game with us on the Power 2 live every Wednesday at noon, and go get your free $20 entry. Thanks to Sleeper for their support. Now back to the video. Cole, you want to go here?
I do want to ask Tom a question, and this is, I think, really important. You look at the composite rankings and you look at the metrics that say returning production. You look at certain things like overall stat lines, transfer portal rankings, recruiting rankings. Oregon has Indiana beat in every category. But did you know that Indiana is beating Oregon in every single metric right now offensively? They're running the football more efficiently. They have more yards per game efficiently. They're better at scoring. The passing numbers are eerily similar, but they all rank inside the top 15 together. Yet Indiana does have still a roster that's competitive. Do you think that there is a scenario where, let's say Indiana is down by 14, they have enough offensively to be able to fight their way back in this game, making the 4-quarter battle?
I think so, but to get into a track meet with Oregon, I don't like that for anybody right now
Yeah.
in the country. Like if you're trying to get into a shootout with them and then hope you can get some turnovers and get them to play dumb football, I just don't think that's the identity of this team. Again, the bigger victory, and I know Penn State losing to UCLA really muddies the water in this entire thing. But looking at Indiana's resume versus Oregon's, I think you have to give a lot of credit to what Oregon did on the road at Penn State. Far more than what Indiana did against Illinois. I think we know what Illinois is at this point. The game against Iowa, to me, is the one where I'm puzzled. Having the bye week, the time to get ready for this game, will help Kurt Signetti and company. But I just think we're going to figure out that Indiana is a very good team, but just not an elite team like Oregon in this one. So to your points, I understand what you're saying. Again, this is an this is an Indiana team that overnight thought it was a blue blood. And you scheduled Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, and Indiana State. And then it was the Illinois game. And then the head scratchers I mentioned at Kinnick. The body of work for me isn't terribly impressive. And it's just, I don't know, man. What I saw this team do to Penn State's defense, which on that night in Happy Valley, that looked like a national championship caliber defense from Penn State. I don't like this matchup, and especially it being in Oregon. I don't think this sets up very well for Indiana to have success. I think they're going to be able to score. I think they're going to be able to at least kind of keep pace with Oregon, but I think Dante Moore and company pull away.
I actually really do like Indiana at this point, and kind of like Mizzou, just because of the logo, we do not give them the respect that they deserve. And I think that Indiana has come to a level where they weren't a flash in the pan underneath Kirk Signetti, and Sig has turned this into a sustainable identity that I think is going to be long-term standing in Bloomington. If this game was played in Bloomington, I would take Indiana to win. I would take Indiana to probably win outright. And I mean by double digits. It's in Autzen. And you may believe that the SEC has some of the most incredible Cathedral of Chaoses, and they do. Autzen is an outlier to where you close your eyes and you stand on the sideline on a third down call. Very few places are built like it. And that's why I think it's going to be the difference in this game. I think Oregon wins. I think Oregon pulls away late for a cover as well. I think we're going to see something along the lines of 34-24, 34-21. I'll go 34-21 final score. Indiana does enough, but I think Dante Moore, once again, he just checks off another box going towards a Heisman Trophy caliber season.
Yeah, my score is really similar. I think they have to settle for a few more field goals, but they move the ball consistently enough. And then I was literally going to say the same thing, Cole. I think they get kind of a backdoor cover, 30-20. So very similar score. They have to settle a few more times for field goals. Indiana does all that they can, bows up a few times, keeps it competitive. Oregon pulls away late. Tom?
I think Oregon gains a lead and you see Indiana try and mount a comeback late. I think Indiana has a backdoor cover, but still give me Oregon 31-28.
Wow. Okay.
I hope Tom's right.
I do too.
Just
I really do.
A little bit better game. This is the first weekend. Well, no, that I take that back. I've been to, so Florida, there's been 6 weeks so far. I've been to all 5 games. And so this is the first weekend that I'm actually just sitting on my couch watching football outside of that one bye week. And so, yeah, I hope that Tom is